So TJ, tell us your story, man.
Well, I've struggled with vertigo specifically since I was 11 years old. I just remember in my classroom in 5th grade, I started feeling like I was on a boat, and it was pretty scary. And up until I was about freshman in college, I would just have random bouts of vertigo that would come and go, and they were terrifying, actually. But they'd go away after a couple hours, so I just thought nothing of them. I'd just deal with it the rest of my life. And then as I got into college, the vertigo kind of transformed into this constant vertigo and varying speeds, but it'd just be constant. I could lay down, sit down, I couldn't do anything without feeling the vertigo. I went to countless doctors. I think I've been to 12 overall.
Including me?
No, you're 13.
Okay.
And,
lucky 13.
Yeah, lucky 13. Exactly. Looking at, I've gotten MRIs on my brain. I've gotten MRIs on my inner ear and VNG tests. I've gotten everything to figure out what's wrong. And the best they could ever tell me was a vestibular migraine, which I kind of thought was a cop-out answer. I even was told I have a vestibuloropathy.
Right.
And so they couldn't really do much.
Did you do vestibular rehab therapy?
And I did vestibular rehab therapy as well. I did 10 to 13 weeks of it.
Right.
I felt maybe a tad bit better, but it didn't really do much.
Okay, cool.
So I kind of was hopeless, and I switched my diets to gluten and dairy-free, which helped. And then I was able to find Dr. Clark, and we did first metabolic and changed a little bit more in my diet and seeing some deficiencies in my system, and so I'm on that.
What did we find out about your immune system when we started?
Yeah, I found out I had an autoimmune disease.
Right.
Thyroid's being attacked, and it's, as you mentioned, Hashimoto's.
Right.
And it's probably in other parts of my body, maybe, most likely. And so, really, I think I'm taking fish oils and glutathione, all this stuff that's helping.
Yeah. And then how'd that work? How much did that help?
That got me back up to 75%.
75% better than you were.
Than I was. And I was pretty bad. I was just having to lay home. I had a big beanbag chair, and I would lay in my beanbag chair all day.
Oh.
Yeah. So 75% better was awesome. I could do a lot, and so I came here for the rehab, hoping to get that 25% back. And, leaving here, I'm pretty darn close.
Yeah. So if you were 75, what are you right now? So
I'd have to say I'm 90, so like 90%.
90. Cool.
Around there, which is awesome.
And we also, I want to tell everyone at home, he's not done. We just have our 4 days here, but he's going to end up getting better. We'll follow up with him in about 2 weeks, and there's some things he's going to do at home that's going to help. So, I had you go take a run today. You hadn't run in a long time, right?
No, I was staying away from exercise. I couldn't exercise. I was afraid I was hurting things. And so he sent me on a walk the other day. He sent me on a jog today.
Right, and you did fine.
Yeah, I did fine. Normally when I run, I get a lot of vertigo. I have to sit down afterwards and just let my body kind of readjust. And
you didn't get that?
Not much at all, no.
And so you also had, just briefly, you had some neck pain that kind of was wrapped up in this. You also had some lower back pain. How are those? Just so people know, sometimes when people get chronic vestibular problems, they'll get neck pain and or back pain along with it. So what would you say about those with you? How are those now?
Well, that's a key thing I left out of this whole video is, ever since the college with the constant vertigo, I've had neck pain kind of real high and back pain down low. And no one's ever really been able to pinpoint it as to why it's causing vertigo. I had numerous doctors tell me, well, your neck hurting shouldn't give you vertigo at all.
Right.
Like, that makes no sense. Right. So, sorry, we're not going to treat you.
And just so everyone knows, it's not that his neck hurting is causing the vertigo. It's that his neck hurting is telling you why he has some of the vertigo. But that's a topic for another video. But you had some treatment. You've had treatment for those, right?
Yes.
I mean, like
prior to here, I had lots of treatment. I had a bunch of chiropractic adjustments, which helped, but never really solved the problem. Right. I was always having to go back, and so here we did some rehab, and it helped tremendously. Kind of put me back into place. I'm trying to stand up straight and fix my posture, and it helps tremendously when I do that.
And just so everyone knows, I didn't adjust him. I didn't adjust his back to fix his back. So that's just more of a neurological treatment. So
it wasn't like a chiropractor at all. So people know it wasn't like I was getting adjusted or anything. It was
and even though even though I am a chiropractor, but that's not what you needed.
Yeah.
So cool. So what would you say to someone who's had chronic symptoms, whether they're like yours or just chronic dizziness? Do you have anything to tell them that that might give them some hope of some kind? Or what would you say?
I would say sometimes it feels hopeless because every doctor says, I don't know, and so they put you on a medication, and it doesn't really solve the problem. So you kind of feel like you have to live with it, and that's kind of how a lot of people I think feel with vertigo or maybe any condition, but they have to live with it. And I'd say there's something causing it. And Dr. Clark was able to point that out. There is something. Vertigo doesn't just happen.
Right.
And so I just encourage you to do the research. Come check Dr. Clark out. I recommend him.
Cool.
Because I'm sure he'll find something. That was the cool thing, is no one ever really explored my back and neck like you did too. And that's always been something.
Well, I just want to tell everyone that even though he has chronic dizziness, he didn't have an inner ear problem, and that's kind of where the standard sort of folks were missing it. That's just not what he had, and so it was definitely off the beaten path of what you might normally see in someone with dizziness and vertigo. But we found it, and we're able to treat it, and so that's good stuff. Well, listen, I'll follow up with you in a couple of weeks, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm pumped too.
Cool. All right, see you later.